Hey everybody, this is Darren Sabedra again with Mike Lefkow. It's Monday. We're heading into the third week of the high school football season. We're here in Walnut Creek. Mike, we just got back from Salle, but before we talk a little bit about the Spartans, let's look at some of the questions going into the third weekend of the high school football season. And let's start off with a team that played in the Honor Bowl on over the weekend, St. Francis, which beat Notre Dame Sherman Oaks. I think St. Francis is pretty good, but the big question is, how good?
Well, I mean, I like that victory over Notre Dame. I was pretty impressed with that. I mean, I know St. Francis is without Darryl Page, but I think running backs can be replaceable. And I think St. Francis showed off being a pretty good team over the weekend.
Right. They get Oak Grove on Friday night. They should handle business there. And then they have the big one next week at home against De La Salle.
And that'll be a big that'll prove just how good they are.
Another question to ponder as we enter the third week is what to make of Victor Galley's team at Pittsburg. Open the season with a heartbreaking loss, double overtime to Clayton Valley, and then score 48 unanswered points in the first half against a quality opponent in St. Mary's of Stockton on Friday night, and win 48-7. Now they get a road test. They're leaving town on Thursday to go down to face Southern California Power Centennial of Corona. That game will be played Friday night. Second year in a row that the Pirates will play at Centennial. They lost last year 63-21.
I don't think it'll be that much of a. I don't think the gap will be that wide this year. I was kind of looking at the scout.com recruiting list. Centennial's got some good kids on there, but they don't have a quarterback, I don't think, like Tanner McGee last year.
Right.
And so I think this could be a little different game than last year.
Right.
Will Pittsburgh win? I wouldn't pick Pittsburgh, but it might be a lot closer.
Right, and they're going to do everything the same. They're staying at the same hotel, going to the same restaurant. They think that the experience of having played there last year will give them, at least more of a comfort level. So it will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what unfolds. I mean, I know Coach Galley was relieved that his team got a win last week. I mean, he would have been it would have just been really tough for them to go down there at 0-2. But now going in at 1-1 with a really impressive win over St. Mary's. So. We'll be watching to see how the Pirates do on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, I think that victory over St. Mary's that got the wow factor. I mean, it was 48-0 at the half. Right. St. Mary's a good program, so right. You do that. I mean, that's definitely wow.
Another question is who has more at stake on Friday night, Archbishop Mitty or Menlo-Atherton? They're going to meet at Foothill College. Mitty coming off that impressive win over Oakdale in the Honor Bowl, and Menlo-Atherton handled his business against Bellarmine 28-0 in its opener. So what do you think, Mitty, Menlo-Atherton?
That one I don't know who has more at stake. Mitty was very impressive, beating a good team. Menlo-Atherton playing a traditional power, but Bell's a little bit down. Or at least it seems that it's a little bit down. So I don't know who has more at stake. That might just be a game that you have to let the two teams play it out and draw some conclusions after it's over.
And Mitty's new coach is the former head coach at Menlo-Atherton. Does that factor into this game at all? Well,
sure it does. I mean, the Mitty kids want to win it for them, and the Menlo-Atherton kids want to win it to prove that, hey, we're a good football team.
Right. And Mitty's quarterback, Shamir Bey, had a huge game against Oakdale, throwing, I believe, 4 touchdown passes.
Right.
So that is a game that we will be at. We will be covering that one. Look for our coverage at mercurynews.com and eastbaytimes.com. Another big question is what will the Liberty McClymonds game tell us? And that's a game I've got circled. That should be an interesting game.
Yeah, that's going to be a good football game. McClymonds, I was really surprised they beat Marin Catholic 26-0 last week. And Michael Peters, the McClymonds coach, said they didn't play that well.
Right.
So who knows? I mean, Liberty just ran right past Gilroy. I tend to think Liberty wins that game, but I could see that game being close. Again, that could be a little bit like Mitty and Menlo-Atherton.
Right.
Maybe you have to wait till after for conclusions.
Right. Liberty with Butterfield having a huge game against Gilroy, but what do you make of that? I mean, you really can't draw any conclusions from a game that was 50-0 in the second quarter.
No, they're going to face better athletes, and they're going to face a better team.
Jamar Julian had a huge game for Mac against Marine Catholic.
Right.
That will be an interesting game. Mac at home, but Liberty with the quarterback who obviously is accurate and has the Stanford lineage with his dad having played at
And
Stanford.
two smart coaches matching
Right.
with some.
Right. Finally, the last question that going into the weekend that we're going to ponder is Antioch legit? I mean, we know what kind of talent they have. The quarterback's back. They've got Gotti Campbell still. They beat Cal last week 37-27. What do you think of Antioch?
You know, I'm not sure yet. Again, I think they're playing better than they did last year. This is a big game, and then they play Clayton Valley Charter the following week at Clayton Valley Charter. So they want to take care of business this weekend, and then they can start really looking to get revenge on what happened last year.
Right, and that game is going to be at Clayton Valley. We'll talk more about that next week, but that will be a big test for Antioch.
Yes, it will be.
Like as I said earlier, we just got back from De La Salle. The Spartans are getting ready to play Bishop O'Dowd on Friday night. Not a lot of film work being done there at De La Salle, and why don't you tell us why?
Well, Bishop O'Dowd beat Kennedy of Fremont by forfeit last week. They were supposed to play on Thursday. The air quality index was not good, and the Kennedy principal said, no, we're not playing. And Kennedy didn't have enough guys for Friday. There was supposedly a 3-day weekend or something, I don't know, but they weren't going to have enough players to compete with Bishop O'Dowd. So Dowd is going in not having played, and that's not what you want to do against De La Salle.
And De La Salle feels as if it's played more than 2 games, according to Coach Justin Allenbaugh. We just got done talking with. I mean, they played Folsom to open the season, win that game 14-0, and then handled business last week against Central Catholic of Modesto, a physical team that De La Salle beat soundly, even though the coaches obviously don't feel that they played that well. They still won 35-7. So you get 8 quarters of football in, and now you're going up against a team that has a new quarterback, has a lot of new faces after graduating a star-studded team last year. They still have Austin Jones, but that's a tall order for Napoleon Kaufman's team going to O'Dowd on Friday night.
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be a really tough game for Bishop O'Dowd, and first games are always tough, and now De La Salle is going to be playing its 3rd game, so they have an idea of what they've got. I mean, personally, I think De La Salle keys on Austin Jones and makes the other guys beat you.
Right, and the question is, who are those other guys? I mean, we don't know yet.
Now they got a they got a pretty good tight end in Sterling Stokes,
Right.
but I think we know. I mean, De La Salle's defensive line is going to have an advantage over O'Dowd's offensive line.
Right, and that will be the key to the game. And we will see what you're going to be there.
I will be there.
You're going to be there for the 2nd week in a row at De La Salle.
Yep.
And what is it? They're having some kind of
Oh,
potluck.
they're having
there?
some sort of pig roast before the game,
Ooh.
so I guess a lot of people will be well fed when it starts.
Yes, including yourself.
I'll have to see.
Or are you going to hit Chipotle before the game?
I'm not big on having a heavy meal before games because you're running up and down that sideline.
Yes, and there's a lot of activity
Yeah,
on the visiting
and
sidelines.
those narrow sidelines there are tough enough.
Right. As it stands now, I will be at Foothill College to check out Mitty. I haven't seen Mitty in a couple of years, but that was a big win for them last week, and now they go up against MA. It'll be the 2nd week in a row that I've seen MA, and MA was had a lot of guys missing last week and still won 28-0, including the the standout receiver, Franklin. And I think you have a little bit of news on Franklin.
Well, the Scout.com or it's CBS 247 Sports.
Right.
They just released their top prospects for the 2021 class, and Franklin was rated the #1 prospect in California.
Not bad, but he was, according to Coach Ravapati, nursing an ankle injury last week. Did not play against Bellarmine, but he said Friday that he could be back this week. So.
And as far as I know, he's already got offers from Arizona State, Oregon State, and Utah. So looks like a pretty good prospect.
Very good. Anything else to add before we wrap it up here in lovely Walnut Creek?
No, I think it'll be an interesting week again. We've got, 3 top 10 matches coming up?
Top 13.
Top 13
top
matches?
13, yeah. We have #1 De La Salle going up against number 10 now. Number 10, Bishop O'Dowd. Mitty came in, actually top 14. Mitty came in at 14th in our poll, and they are going up against the 7th ranked Menlo-Atherton. And then we have McClymonds at number 9 playing host to Liberty number 3. Number 3. So yeah, check out our covers, mercurynews.com, eastbaytimes.com. Sign up for the newsletter. It's free. What do you think of the newsletter?
I like it.
Yes. It comes right into your inbox on Monday mornings to recap the weekend and Thursday mornings to preview the weekend. I hope it's a must at this point, or it's getting close. I think there's a lot of material in there.
Yeah,
we got a
it's
lot of
a
guys
good
working.
read.
We have a lot of guys working. So be sure to sign up for that. Tell your teammates, tell your coaching colleagues, tell your classmates, tell your parents. Well,
tell everybody at the school. Let's get on the intercom before the school day.
Yes, announce it at your school. Sign up for the Mercury News East Bay Times newsletter, Bay Area Preps HQ. Anything else?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right. Have a good week.